Greetings, Zog Langwinger and Mans or Ass Clowns across the fluid Zog Plain here in the open air, coast to coast nut house we call Zog Babylon the third and the final. Anyway, today is what, the 17th of October, Monday, and I finally went in to get my snail and got my taxes, and they're higher. Not that, I would have been able to pay them because, well, guess what? Bryan Reo took my money. You know what I mean? Went ahead and took my property. Just like, they do with Alex Jones and the rest here. That's why you don't even bother pretend. Secondly, I haven't had a Mad Dog's Musings up. Last couple of days I had gout. Now I felt sort of sick. I'm hoping I ended up having the modified ZOGvirus. If you're going to get it here, you might as well get to where you end up having a cold, which is pretty well what the 1889 to 1891 original non-ZOGvirus, the original COVID, which became OC43. So hey, I might end up having the ZOGvirus. I don't know here. Not too worried about it. So anyway, went ahead, and folks, are going to take a little while because shoot, Saturday they came up bitching about something about selection denialism here, which means that you don't believe that the 2020 presidential selection was on the up and up, and I'm not I'm going to say no comment here because I want this channel to last until until at least November 8th here. So no comment, no opinion on that shit here. You know what I mean? I see a little thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Essentially, if you are a white politician, Republican politician, you are demanded to go ahead and swear allegiance to the coming selection here that is on the up and up. You're going to go ahead and obey it. Treat it like it's legitimate or something like that, and demanding that crap here. And YouTube's doing that as well. And I did go ahead and point out, is that really, for all practical purposes, look y'all too. But I had the same problem with Bryan Reo back in 2010. We was taking down all my web pages here, on Google. I said, look, you should have a choice. And under Section 230, you can either go ahead and say you're a common carrier, and that you let a court decide. You let a court decide if they want to go to, take it to the court. And from what I gather, they didn't want to go ahead and actually decide it. In, the Texas and other cases here, where they protested, this stuff here, and supposedly, Clarence Thompson, Alito, and maybe one other one said, yeah, we need to hear this. And they all said, no, we ain't going to hear it. We ain't going to hear it. Okay, well, you don't want to hear it? You don't want to hear it. Any case. So I'll have to go ahead and do some editing here. But what happened is my official comment, at least still after November 8th here, on the 2020 presidential selection is no comment. And what happens, I have to go ahead and see if I made any comments here that might get me booted off. But no, I mean, these, YouTube, whatever, they're going to go ahead and censor the comment here, and they're going to have to they need to take responsibility for it here. But if they don't want to have any responsibility for it, then hey, just let it go pass here. But no, right now, no comment. You need to be a total dork here not to know what I think, but in any case here, I'm being a politician now. I'm running as a write-in candidate for the United States Senate. That's why I'm being a politician. I put on my politician's hat here, but I'm sort of proud of my luxuriant hair. Alright, let's see what old Judge Bridget Meyer here said about the shit that happened here. Do not respond because the mailbox is unattended. Notice of electronic ballot. Alright, motion denied. Plaintiff's motion to strike, or in the alternative, a motion for a more definitive statement. So what Bryan Reo does, he just files these motions to strike. And then he claims he doesn't understand what I'm suing over. In this case, I think it was supposedly he said that I repeated something, which, I can't really find an evidence of, but pretty well what I said way back in 2016 when I found that Bryan Reo used to work at North Perry Nuclear Power Plant, is that he got fired. I think he was, deemed to be an internal security risk, but I don't know. Maybe he was just simply being a ZOGbot. A motion for, stated at 10/12/22 staff's conference. Okay, it's one page. Motion denied. Plaintiff's motion to strike. Defendant's motion for a change of venue for the reasons stated in 10/22. So essentially, the law says, see what happens is someone like Bryan Reo will go ahead and file, right next door to him, 900 miles away from me. And yeah, it's all a jurisdictional issue. If essentially the government goes ahead and claims. I mean, they bitched about in the Declaration of Independence about dragging colonists at their own expense in chains, 3,000 miles to London to hear cases for involving smuggling here. You know what I mean? That's where they end up insisting on warrants. Okay. Minutes of proceeding before Judge Bridget Meyer telephonic staff's conference, although Bryan attorney defendant pro se. At the outset, the court asked the parties whether they would, and folks, you went ahead and seen that on the last video, which I think I put up on the 13th, which was about the 12th here. Plaintiff, they would deny or and ordered plaintiff to respond to defendant's consolidated response in opposition. Defendant may reply by on or something by November 28, 2022. He may want to have electronic filing privileges. See, if you're a lawyer, you get them. If you're just an ordinary member of the herd, screw you. It's a privilege. You had computer in court form, they would mail instructions. The court further explained, would be, something would not cause that would not be moved. The court stated it would not telephone any offensive, defendant, especially slur directed at plaintiff. If defendant's future files, the court may invoke any may revoke, strike such filings here. That he is the only named defendant in this case as pro se led can may only represent himself. Defendant acknowledged the nature of this cause, his station, and that he cannot represent another person or entity. Look, I don't really care. See, you lawyers got together, you decide to go ahead and give yourself special access to your own little corrupt courts. It don't really matter. You see, what happens when a system is just so over the air that essentially the only way that they're going to bring someone forward is as a victim. Order. Okay? Alrighty. So in short, I guess he's saying that I can't say that Bryan Reo is a long time known. So I went ahead and got this there motion to go ahead and file electronically. Pretty well, what happened to this particular judge was claiming she's not going to go ahead and like. Now, I've got to go ahead and pretend that Bryan Reo is an actual, should have the status as being a white man when the critter is not white. He ain't much of a man, but mainly he's an Asian provocateur. I've got to go ahead and pretend one of the officers of the court is essentially honorable. I got to pretend the court is honorable. I don't. But, I mean, pretty well my attitude toward Northeast Ohio is that, here it was. It wasn't part, but you end up having these Yankees who wanted to go ahead and leave when it wasn't nice for them, but in 1812. But what happens? They just got to go ahead and insist that anybody stupid enough, to join their slave empire here, and that's what the Constitution was. It was an attempt to go ahead and make the white man outside the places which loved Satan, like the Puritans did. See, they worshiped Satan, really, when it came down to it. They worshiped money, and, then they worshiped Satan, of course, here. And so, very well, the southern states just wanted to run things as they saw fit. And for the longest time, it went along with that. Well, it got to where they decided to leave, and guess what? Dishonest ape Lincoln decided to drag him back by force. Now, you have the same situation now. It's just that, let's say even in South Dakota, whatever, these lawyers believe that they get to take your property. If they do not like what is said here, they'll, well, I don't care. I don't really care. Look, let's not go ahead and pretend. I have lost my property. And the state of South Dakota went ahead and its lawyers took it. So, pretty well I just have a hard and fast attitude here. You're a lawyer. You serve. You're an officer of the court. And the courts, the courts are servants of Satan. So what happens is that, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with killing millions and millions and millions of satanic people and their children. I mean, what are you going to do about all this fentanyl? Well, I'm not going to do anything. I mean, I remember 20-some years ago when, Jasper County used to be the #1 county and the #2 state for homegrown meth labs. Because what happens, the local meth heads would just simply go ahead and buy a bunch of cold medications, scrape together, make themselves a batch, sell half the batch to make makings for the next batch, and then they go ahead. So you'd have a whole bunch of critters here. Obviously, twinking, twinking or twerking, and then they have, just like old Jeremy Visser used to have a skull, just a skull, which is essentially, you can see the outlines of the skull here because he wasn't eating or drinking, he was taking meth here. And that went ahead and changed it to where they did away with that. And they improved it here. What happens is that instead of taking delicious, nutritious dirty dope, which was named the local sheriff here, who had one of his meth cooking rivals here stomped to death. Delicious, nutritious, dirty dope. Anyway, what you would do, I think regrettably that old bastard's still alive here. He was around my age, maybe a little bit older here. But you end up having more of these scumbags come by. So, any case, no. I mean, ever since, what, 13th of June, 2016, when I found out about that nuclear power plant that Bryan Reo used to work at, and this is somewhat matter of the case here. And now I'm beginning to realize is that, maybe they did know Bryan Reo worked there. That way they can go ahead and hold it over the head of the operators here. There's such fucktards here that it wasn't until there was a number of accidents here that they went ahead and did a search here and found out Sword Brethren, the famous white supremacist Teutonic crusader, was Bryan Reo. And fired his ass. So, in any case, but hey, you have a nuclear power plant. Nothing wrong with going ahead, since these people believe and acting like Sodom and Gomorrah and dragging me and my church. And, we ain't going to go ahead. Well, I'll be adding my church to it. And then you'll be deciding not to go ahead and let it happen here. You know what I mean? To me, it doesn't really matter. See, the actual law is that, guess what? Contrary to what Bryan Reo says, it ought to be just taken to Southwest, Western District of Missouri, where, guess what? They're not going to listen to that whiny little homo mongrel bitch go ahead and do this stuff. But they did do it in South Dakota, which is okay here. I mean, this is pretty well, what I have to say to John Thune and Christy Noll. I don't think John Thune would miss his nuts or Spawn's nuts. I mean, hey, maybe that bastard shouldn't breed. Maybe that, that evil bitch shouldn't breed. But no, there's nothing wrong with torturing the children of regime criminals. Nothing wrong with allowing them to be homosexually raped. They don't have a problem with raping the children of ordinary white people, going ahead buying and selling them. So since they end up being nothing but traitors and parasites, why not go ahead and cull them every so often? But no, had Logan Hunter call me, well, Joe Biden, looks like he's working up the nerve to use nuclear weapons on Russia. I said, so? What can I do about it? More to the point, why should I go ahead and do anything about it? What is wrong? What is wrong? Well, however senile Joe got in there, his handlers, however he got there, I'm not denying. No selection of denial here. Done. At least not till after November 8th. But anyway, but no, I mean, just wonder I don't get my ass bad forthwith. But anyway, yeah, another strike. But anyway, let's say, I mean, I've always wondered. I mean, you go ahead, when I targeted nuclear weapons, I don't know why they couldn't be targeted. I mean, it could be targeted to Washington, D.C., or Chicago, or New York City, or Los Angeles here. You know what I mean? One of the benefits of limited flyover country is that, pretty well the whole population thinks as I do. But hey, there's nothing to do it here. There's nothing, nothing go ahead and work here. But there's nothing, I mean, well, if it happens here. And yeah, it could be sort of unpleasant to have one come up. Well, not really unpleasant. I mean, shoot, the thing goes off here. You know, hell, you know, even your butt, you know, even the crap in your butthole won't feel thing here. Boom. You'll just be a flash here. So anyway, this is what I got. This is what I got in the mail. I thought of picking it up Sunday, and that, nah, hell, you know, why bother going? I mean, I went ahead, you know, didn't take it, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday. So, got my taxes, got this. Got a bunch of Medicare shit here. So, you know, no. I mean, it just simply is what it is here. So anyway, you know, I don't know if any of you like this, you know, show or anything like that here. I enjoy making it here. You know, it doesn't take me this long. You know, what happens, I've been talking for around 20 minutes here. So anyway, it is the 17th of October, 2022. If you want to send some Zog bucks, you know, I'm not talking about a lot. You know, I be going to town, but I didn't buy nothing because I don't have any money. You know, and B, I have a bunch of shit I need, old shit from 2008, 9, 10, 12, and 15, or whatever I need to eat anyway. So, I'm going to go ahead and you can go ahead and send Zog bucks. I'm going to stay on time and on target. I'm going to go ahead. You can send Zog bucks to Pastor Martin Mad Dog Lindstedt, 338 Rabbit Track Road, Granby, Granby, Missouri, you know, 64844. Did I get that right? I just had a senile Joe minute here. You know, I'd like for you to write me in, but I just don't have no Zogbot friends here who will sort of help me along in the sectorial race here. You know, I mean, unlike, well, never mind here. You know, I mean, if I win, you know, and the results are more laughable than what happened when someone else supposedly won. So in any case, here we're just onward. We'll just try to be better. Act like a good worker. You know what I mean? You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm looking at you, girl. Here. You know, maybe if you were 20 or 30 pounds more, you know, heavier here, I'd be interested here. You know, Pastor Martin Mad Dog Lindstedt says, until later, hail victory.